New dads are often left out of the postpartum conversation, a conversation that as a whole has been taboo to talk about. Last week, Anusha and I shared our stories about postpartum depression. In today's It Takes a Village, we hear from our husbands about their journey.
Everyone always talks about being a parent is like the most joyous thing. And it is. There's a lot of great moments in it. But there are also moments where it's hard and it's painful.
Two words not often used to describe this moment in life.
A lot of crying on behalf of baby and mom, and maybe a little bit of dad as well.
Words that are raw and honest.
You can kind of read about something, you can hear about something, but until you experience it in that moment.
Postpartum depression, a part of both these new dads' journeys.
There was definitely a time where I was just, I think I saw it in your eyes.
My husband Josh recognized something wasn't right before I was willing to admit it.
There was a time where I think I was starting to see it where, you know, it wasn't as, you weren't as, I guess, happy as a thought as like, hey, this is something we've been praying for so long, and all of a sudden, like, it hit me like, oh, well, maybe something else is going on.
I was struggling, crying, and wanting to be alone.
You acknowledged it right then and there. And I think, like you mentioned, having that vulnerability helped us kind of almost grab by the horns, essentially, and, you know, realize what's going on and kind of be there for each other through that whole process.
You know, as a husband, you just want to support.
Anusha's husband, Mihir, saw the same thing.
There were hints beforehand with kind of, I think, one thing I saw was like in social situations that we had with, you know, even my parents, her parents. She was pretty kind of like backed off from those and had a hard time, initially had a little bit of a hard time bonding with our son. It really did take kind of a moment, a true moment for us to like both acknowledge, yeah, this is something we need to talk about and address.
And each of us did in our own way, now feeling the pull to share our journey with others.
There's so many people who have come out and like talked to us about this ever since Anusha posted on social media, brought it up at work, and talked about it openly. It's been really nice to have people come up to us and say thank you.
And their advice to other new dads: be honest with yourself and remain a team.
First, get a sense of how you're feeling. And so I think one thing that I missed was that I was feeling similar things to Anusha. It was not, I don't know if it was a hormonal balance and what the physiology of it was, but I felt some of the same insecurities, some of the same feelings as she did. And so I kind of wish I had communicated those with her and not tried to like project strength. Hey, you don't have to be that strong backbone. You can tell them how things really are, and then acknowledge that, hey, there are problems, like, let's seek help.
Realize that, you know, you're on the same side. You know, things do get tough. You know, especially sleep deprivation, all the changes going on, right? You're not knowing, like, hey, what's going on with my partner, right? And yeah, you mentioned it, like there's stuff that you go, you know, through as well as being a new dad. Lots of stresses and pressures and stuff too.
And that's what's kind of unfortunate. You know, so many times everything is about the baby, and then it's mom. And then often dads just aren't even in the conversation, but they go through so much as well, especially first-time dads. You're trying to figure out, you're sent home with this baby without an instruction manual. You don't know what to do. And you're like the pillar of strength, right?
Right.
And you're supposed to, like, you know, come off that way, and it's okay to be vulnerable and express that you're going through some stuff too.
Yeah, again, I'm glad you're doing this because I'm sure a lot of people aren't aware. You know, when we had kids, such a long time ago, it seems like, it was 30-some years ago, but I am sure if this would have happened to us, and I don't think it did, luckily, but I'm sure I would have had no clue. I mean, nobody talked about it back then. I was sitting here at the desk. We didn't do stories on it back then. I mean, it was just something. Now, that isn't to say it was easy, you know, the shot of Josh sleeping.
Yeah.
That was me like every night.
Totally, right? Every new dad.
Yeah, I think we were the same. We didn't have a whole lot of problems, at least that I noticed then, but what I felt the weight of was that I'm going to have to keep this kid on the straight and narrow. I'm going to have to raise it. You know, he can't be doing hard time instead of high school, you know, that sort of thing. And I think that responsibility, now I'm sort of responsible for this kid before he gets on. That's what really weighed on me.
Yeah.
And you guys were responsible also for making sure she was okay, that she was healing, that she was, you know, like you had all of it on your shoulders too.
Yeah, and Corey talked with you about this before. One of my good friends went through postpartum, and she didn't know, but she was connecting these feelings and went on Facebook and found a group of women who also felt the same feelings but didn't have a word for it, which was postpartum. She said she felt like she was in a cloud. She felt like for a long time she just had this baby, and she said, I couldn't call her my daughter.
Yeah.
Just
The bond
a
wasn't
baby.
there.
The bond
So
wasn't
sad,
there.
yeah.
And then when she told me, like, finally I can call her my daughter, I'm like, wow. And she asked her husband, you know, what was I in? Did I have postpartum? And he's like, oh yeah, you definitely did. And
It's a real thing.
it's a real thing.
It's a real thing, and the thing to remember is it's a real thing that can be cured.
Right.
You know,
Yes.
There's treatment out there.
Got to acknowledge it. You got to, you know, ask for help. So next week, we talked to a midwife and a pediatrician about what they do to recognize the signs early on and how they have seen this conversation change in recent years, and even how the screenings have changed for new mamas. It's a whole village that's part of this now. And remember, if you're in need of someone to talk to, you can call the Colorado Crisis Hotline at the number on your screen. It's 844-493-TALK. And if you're an expecting or new mom facing mental health challenges, there is a hotline just for you. Moms can call or text 1-833-9-HELP-for-MOMS. Both of those numbers are on your screen. They're both confidential, and you can speak to counselors any time of the day.